Hello, welcome to another Petrol Blog lockdown video. This is just a quick video this time, and I promise it will be quick. Two things really. One is to acknowledge the fact that we've hit 1,000 subscribers. So a huge thank you to the 1,000 of you who stayed put since the start. This channel really only got going at the start of the lockdown, when I decided that it was time to do a little bit more with my fleet of terrible cars. Which would make a great name for a musical, wouldn't it? Rather than Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, we could have Gavin's Fleet of Terrible Cars. I'm sure it'll be a Broadway smash. Mr. Lloyd Webber, if you're watching, I'm ready to talk. I digress in again, which means the video is going to be longer than I originally intended. Yes, we started the video way back when I assembled all the cars in the field just for fun, really. And I thought, well, why not? Why don't we do a video? And here we are. And I promised a few videos ago, I promised to start work on the 406 Coupe when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and we've now done that, which means work can begin in earnest. As luck would have it, or as bad luck would have it, I suppose. Well, it's a double-edged sword. I've been busier this week on paid work than I have been since the start of the lockdown, which means that the fleet and Petrol Blog in general has taken a back seat. Excuse the football analogy, car analogy. So this is A little bit later than I wanted, and B, not as detailed as I'd wanted, but I couldn't let 1,000 subscribers pass without saying thank you, especially all the people who have pushed the channel on Twitter and various other channels. I really appreciate it, genuinely. So here we are with the 406 Coupe, and this is where it all starts, I guess. And I won't deny it, I'm slightly apprehensive. I'm slightly nervous about working on this because I know there's a lot of people wanting good results for very good reasons. I know there's a lot of people who are demanding good results, and I know there's a lot of people who will unsubscribe if I don't start work on it very soon. So we are going to start work on it. This is well beyond anything I've attempted in the past. I've resurrected cars before, most of them cosmetically, and a little bit of light mechanics. This is going to be bigger than that. Well, we think it is. We're going to be on a voyage of discovery together with this one. I'm going to make mistakes, for which I apologise in advance, but I'll learn as I go along, and you'll learn by my mistakes as well, or laugh at my mistakes. Either way, you'll get something out of it. So what have I done today? Well, it's been quite therapeutic actually, because I've just put a battery on it, and it was really nice just seeing some lights on in the car and just seeing some things working, like the windows coming down when you open the doors, and just the little things that make the car what it is. So in many ways it's been therapeutic. The weather's terrible, so I'm actually wearing Hunters today for the first time rather than my usual Converse. So I'm going to jump in because it's starting to rain. We'll jump in the car, as you can see when the window goes down, and things are working. The door lights are working, which, as I posted on Twitter at Major Gav this week, the Safran hasn't got door lights. Well, my spec of Safran hasn't got door lights, which I think is a bit of a negative point in a car with the word executive in the title. This one does have door lights, so that's a top mark there for the 406 Coupe. Coupe. I always call it Coupe. Coupe. Too many ums. Where was I? Yeah, we're going to get in because it is, I say starting to rain. It's been raining all day, on and off. Yeah, it's been nice just to kind of spend some, well, not quality time, but just time with her, and getting to appreciate her and the reasons why I bought her. Just to recap for people who weren't there when we bought this home a year ago, this was a deceased purchase, I suppose you'd call it. It was, and I've forgotten this, it's a one-owner car. The guy bought it in 1999, brand new, from a Peugeot dealer in Sidcup, and which I've got some history I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, one-owner car. He unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and then it passed over to his daughter, who is a second name on the logbook, but she couldn't bear to part with it until I discovered it my son discovered it with a very tiny little for sale note in the front, and it's pushed right against some Lelandais, and you could hardly see the car or the advert. And my son noticed it and said, "I think that car's for sale, Dad." And the rest is history. And I promised the lady that I'd bring her back to life. She called it beautiful, or my beautiful she called it, and I can see why. And even in this state, this one looks beautiful. But various things have happened since we brought it home, and have meant that it hasn't happened. But now it can. I'm going to shut the door, and I'm actually going to fire her up. And I was thinking earlier on today, this isn't like, I'm going to treat it as a recommission, but it's not quite that. It hasn't been off the road that long. It wasn't taken off the road with an error or anything wrong with it. It was taken off the road because I think the guy was ill or whatever. So it was put away with no issues. Cosmetically, it's a bit tired, but mechanically there were no issues with it at all. And the service history backs that up. Still money being spent on it, tyres being put on it, good tyres, right up until the man's death. So, and then after his death, the lady, his daughter, started it every weekend, moved it forward, got the oil running around, just kept it running, kept the battery charged up. And I've been doing roughly the same. I haven't been starting it every week. It's been moved backwards and forwards. I've just kind of kept it moving. But I've no idea if it's going to start now, because it was only half a charge on the battery. So we'll see. Here we go. Instantly noticed that there is a battery charge fault. So yeah, she doesn't hold her charge, even when, she could just run out any minute now. So there is definitely a battery problem. Thinking possibly alternator, but she started, which is a positive. We'll get out, just have a look around. I'll just turn, for obvious reasons, turn the fog lights on. But she's ticking over, and she sounds glorious. Slight misfire there. Cosmetically tired, and again, if you remember the original video, this is where a pheasant struck the front of the car and made its way across the bonnet. I'm not worried about that, not worried about the cosmetics at all at the moment. I'm not even worried about the tyres. The tyres are in good condition. They're old, but they've got tread. So for an MOT, I'm just going to leave the tyres on until I can afford or justify putting new tyres on. Don't worry, I'm not going to go too far with these old tyres on, but they are good enough to get through an MOT. We'll jump back in. I'm actually going to roll her forward a bit because she's quite tight to the back, as it were. As you can see, 139,000 miles, so she's not a spring chicken, but she is a one-owner car. Just roll her. So here we go. I'll just put her in. Handbrake's off, obviously. See the battery lights on as well. So I'll just see if she can just. Oh yeah, there she goes. She's moving forward. So obviously the brakes are going to have to be sorted. Brakes are going to have to be done. And I'd imagine the exhaust is going to have to be looked at. What I'd forgotten is a nice tyre. I'd forgotten this, but if you move the seat forward to get in the back, the seat moves on itself. Yeah, she's hunting again there. Doesn't sound too good. I'm not going to leave her running for too long because obviously the oil and the fluids, the petrol's new. Don't worry, I did put 5 litres of fuel in her, so the petrol is new. I didn't want to make that mistake because that would have been old fuel otherwise. I didn't do everything wrong. Just going to move her back. From what I've discovered so far, the heated seats don't work, so that's going to need to be looked at or go. But it's not price is not a priority. The air conditioning is not working. The display's working, but there are no fans, so we're going to need to look at that. The radio's not working. Again, we'll need to look at that. Not a priority. Seats are working, as you've discovered, as we've discovered together. And I did get quite a bit of history with her, including, which is quite interesting, the original bill of sale. If we look in here, This was when the car was new in 1999. So satellite grey 406 V6 Coupe, 8th of December 1999. So quite a good Christmas present, as all things considered. And as I mentioned before, well, he paid £26,000 and traded in a Peugeot 605. So ended up paying £24,000 for his car. And he had styled mud flaps and rubber mats chucked in, or he had to pay extra for those, didn't get them chucked in. As I said at the time, I can't remember how he got the money, but he came into some money. I'm going to say the pools. I think it was the pools, which won't mean anything to international viewers, but it means you're betting on football results. And he won some money on the pools, and he went straight into the Peugeot dealer in Sidcup and said, I want the best version of the 406 Coupe money can buy. And of course he got the 406 with some extras on it. So he splashed out, and he told Cliffords of Sidcup that he didn't want any dealer stickers, any dealer number plates or any dealer tax holders. He wanted it all, didn't want to advertise their business for free. So what a lad. So yeah, the bit of history, lots and lots of bills, service books, etc. But I thought that was quite a nice part of the history to have. It's got the handbook in there. And what struck me, and there's the Pininfarina badge on there. What struck me about the 406 Coupe is how big it is in the back. What's nice is that the door lights also light up the rear footwells as you're getting in, which is quite nice. Obviously the door has to be shut for that, but there's loads of room in the back. I'm not going to put it back because it will trap me in, but if you just return this, the seat goes back to its original position, which is a nice touch. But there's loads of room in the back here, really comfortable. I mean, it's just enough headroom, because obviously it does slope back quite dramatically at the back, but I'm 6'2", I think, and it just about touched the top of my head. Other than that, it's fine. Loads of storage as well. You know, this is a car you could definitely go on holiday with 2 of your kids in the back. Big storage area there. Terrible cup holder there. Fine if you stood still or with a can. Not so great if you got a coffee or anything. But in 1999, cup holders weren't as good as they are today, unless you owned a Saab. Centre armrest, and then a ski hatch. Because obviously you would be going to the skiing parts of Europe in this. Also means you can get to the boot. You even got another storage compartment at the top, so you weren't short of space in the 406. And then you could even fold the rear seats 60-40. It's turned into a car buy video now, isn't it? Rebecca Jackson's Banana is going to come into play in a minute. Yeah, so there's space in the back as well. You can put the seats all the way down. Don't fold completely flat, although it's not far off, and obviously you get a small lip here. But you can, if it's just the 2 of you going away for a couple of weeks in the south of France, job done. Got hooks in the back as well. I'll put the ski hatch out in case any skiers escape. Hooks in the back, and these are lethal. No soft close or soft open action in this one. They come out. Yeah, don't mess with them. A little bit. Is that mould on the roof? Yeah, a little bit of mould on the roof. But do you know the good thing? This hasn't had any cover on or anything over the winter, and it doesn't leak. There's no leaks in this car at all, which is a real positive. And no sunroof, which if you've been following this channel since the start, you'll know that's an absolute blessing. So good news on that. Cruise control, no idea if the cruise control works. Steering wheel's seen better days, but after 140,000 miles you would expect the leather steering wheel to have a few marks on it. And as you can see there, it's got memory seats. I've also, because it didn't come with a keyring, it did come with a keyring, it came with the original dealer keyring, which I'm surprised he managed to get that through. I'm surprised they managed to get that into the history. But the only keyring I could find was my original Peugeot mountain bike keyring. Oh, and a Puma, the other coupe I bought. And the only car I bought new, a brand new 1.7 Puma. I'm digressing again. I can just see it's done 15 minutes in one take, and I only want this to be a 5-minute video. So I do apologise in advance. Yes, I know this is going to be a challenge. I know. I mean, I'm thinking, I'm hoping I can get it on the road for 1,000. If I can get this on the road for £1,000, I think I'll be done well. And realistically, I think it's going to be double that. By the time I've sorted out brakes, servicing. I mean, I can do a lot of the servicing myself, but by the time I've done everything, if I have to do tyres, brakes, suspension, it's making a clonking noise from the offside rear. So there's something awry. There's something awry going on down here. So that's going to need to be looked at. That's the most depressing, almost expensive sounding noise. Something going on with suspension at the back. But it will be on the road. It's going to happen. And like cosmetically, I'm going to have to sort this out. And I'll try and get as much done before the MOT. And then when I get to the point where I think it's ready, we'll send her in. We'll hope for the best. But I'm up to 17 minutes, so I will try and edit it down. But seriously, thank you ever so much for liking this channel, subscribing to this channel. It's a bit crazy, really. I only expected to get maybe 100 subscribers. I expected to be shouting into the wilderness, but yeah, you're here, so thank you for that. Let's get this girl on the road. In other news, hopefully getting Elaine Beige, the motorhome, back next week. I will be taking just going to zoom across to here, taking the leather seats out of the Corrado and putting the original cloth seats back in the Corrado to sell the leather seats to raise some funds for the 406. And underneath that cover over there is a Safran. MOT is booked for next Friday. So before then, I've got to sort out the number plate light. I've got to sort out the bonnet catch. And I've got to sort out the wiper blades. I think, keeping my fingers crossed, I think the windscreen is going to be okay for the MOT. I haven't found a new windscreen yet, but I think it's outside Zone A. So I think the chip is going to be okay. But yeah, it's all focus on this. All focus on watching a man make many mistakes as he tries to resurrect one of the most beautiful cars in the world. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.